What it do, what it is, what it ain't. Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Get Right Podcast. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to get notifications of new content. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you dig? Cue the music.
Your boy T, it's the Get Right Podcast, man, and we are back as always. Happy National Women's Month. And before we jump into National Women's Month, never rolling solo. I got the two homies with me. I gotta start with the dog, the brain trust. Rod, what's the 3 words, bro?
What up, though?
Yes, sir. And the people they love to hate to love. Mr. Misconception himself, DC. What's up, bro?
I'm a man of the people, bro. I'm a man of the people. True South set you free. It's your boy DC in the place to be. Shout out to the 80s. Let's go.
Man, shout out, bro. Let's get to the 80s, man. Let's get to the king, man. Let's get into sports. Let's get into the king. The guy born.
What do the 80s have to do with the king?
Because he's born in '84, bro.
All right, I got you.
Yeah, it's all over the news, man. There you go. See, boom, facts. Truth to set you free, man. But LeBron James, man, he had some words courtside with Stephen A. Smith, man. And if you can read lips for the professional lip readers, stop F with my son, bro. Talking about my son, bro. Don't play with my son. I don't know where all this come from, but Rod, I already see the brains is churning, bro. And you got 2 boys. You got them going into sports heavy, bro. How you feel about this?
Well, I think what he said is leave my son out of this, bro. I'm not a professional lip reader, but that's what I took out of it. But
and Stephen A. spoke on it, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, because he cleared it up. Yeah,
he said he came to him as a father. And, people gonna have things to say regardless. I see both sides. I see, you could have called me and hashed this out behind closed doors. Then I also understand the role of being a parent, and some people be like, there's fault on his for putting him in that position to get criticized because he's in the NBA, he's a grown man, and all of this stuff. At the end of the day, man, that's still my boy. What is he, 19 years old, 20? He's still my boy. I'm still going to look at him as he, was when he was first born. Like I have an 11-year-old. That's my oldest, and a 5-year-old. And parental instinct is protection always. You know what I mean? So I feel Brian. Like I know people are saying this week that he's going to confront him and do all this stuff, but I'm for it, man. I can't knock him for trying to protect his child. And I don't know what Stephen A. said. I've seen different clips of what possibly could have been said. And, a lot of the attention, fair or unfair, has been on Bronny just because of who his dad is. They're not talking about how he is killing it in the G League. He is developing. He's a rookie. He's not a first-round lottery pick. He's not expected to be LeBron James or some instant impact. So to fault him at getting real live game reps is unfair, right? And as a parent and somebody that's from the urban city, we're going to call it the hood for those who don't understand what that is. I get it, bro. I'm going to check you in the most opportune time because you get a platform where you can just spew out anything you want, right? That's the problem with today's generation is you can say whatever you want and expect no repercussions from it. Nah, we're not doing that. Not when it comes to my seed.
Right.
We gonna have to talk man to man, and I don't care if it's behind closed doors in front of 40,000 people. I don't care who around me. When I see red and you trying to come at my family, we gonna handle that right there. And that's it. That's how I feel about it.
That's the definition of on site, bro.
100%.
That's the definition of on site. I agree, man. And here's my thought. I don't think it needs to be private because whenever Stephen A. Smith or whatever pundit had something to say, it was not in private. It was on national TV. It was on the internet. It was for the world to see. So I'm about to address you in front of the whole world, just how you address my son in front of the whole world. But furthermore, I think that a lot of the Bronny talk is out of bounds. The man is the 55th pick of the NBA draft. There was only 58 picks. So there was only 3 people picked after him.
Yep.
Bruh, I don't know about y'all, but I don't really hear about any other rookies. The only rookie that I kind of hear about is Dalton Connect, but that's because I follow the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? I follow them pretty closely. But
Yeah.
you got the number one pick, Zachary Risacher. I might be saying his last name wrong. Coming out of Atlanta, he was the number one pick. Bruh, Bronny gets more coverage than the number
Hmm.
one pick in the draft. So when sometimes people say like, "Oh, Bronny's a grown man now. He's free game. Woo, woo, woo." I get that, but bro, nobody has been a 55th pick of the league and has come with all these lofty ass expectations. Like, what were you expecting? You know what I'm saying? Oh, he took a job from somebody else who deserved it. Who? The man was damn near the last pick, bro. If you didn't, if you're the reason, if Bronny is the reason that you're not in the NBA, you was never gonna make it, my guy. You was never gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if he took your spot as the 55th spot, you was gonna try out anyway. They gonna try you out after the draft.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be in the G League anyway, and you're gonna get your reps in, and you're gonna get your chance. So we need to stop this narrative of Bronny took somebody else's job. No, he didn't. No 55th pick took somebody's job. Let's stop the bullshit. And if you're gonna talk about somebody or anything in public, you're gonna get addressed in public. That's just what it is. Shout out to Bron on that. As far as Stephen A. Smith, I've heard the narrative of, oh, he didn't run up on no white guy like that. It's always, quote unquote, black on black crime. I suppose you could say that, but this is what I would say.
Yes.
I don't know. One, Stephen A. Smith has the biggest platform in America. You know what I'm saying? He has the biggest platform. ESPN is the number one network. First Take is the number one rated show for its slot and whatnot. And he's the highest paid pundit in America. He just signed $100 million deal. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith, by the way, for that. So when you look at LeBron James running up on him, that's the most logical choice. He is the loudest, the most bombastic, and he has the largest audience. Who else you gonna run up on? You got Colin Coward. Colin Coward talks about him too, but he's on FS1. And let's keep it real. He's not reaching numbers like Stephen A. Smith is. And Colin Coward is not yelling at the screen all the time, talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Well, I wouldn't even say talking crazy because Stephen A. don't really talk crazy.
It's the animation.
When you have an elevated tone, kind of like I do right now, it's gonna come across a certain way, bro. No matter what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, Stephen A. got humble, and he was humble as hell on Friday. He used his inside voice when he was talking about that shit on Friday morning, bro. So I say shout out to Bron, bro. I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it at all.
You took the words
Yeah.
out of my mouth when you said you gonna talk on the public platform. I'm gonna say what I say in public too. It's even, bro. It's an even field.
Yeah. And one thing that I think people have to realize, LeBron James is an anomaly. Not everybody's going to be Bron. Like he's argued one of the greatest of all time. So that's a heavy feat for someone who had so much pressure to be the greatest of all time, right? Since he was 16 years old, they've been screaming that he's going to be the best. And then you have basically the entire media world that's been comparing him to this one man, of saying, there's people that say you're never going to get to that guy. Stephen A's one of those individuals that's basically been down in this man since he's been 18 years old coming into the league. At a certain point, you get tired. From 18 to 40, that's a long time to completely
22
criticize. Yeah, 22 years of completely criticizing, saying you'll never be this guy. Then you criticize him for it. They say, oh, rings matter. He leaves, he go get rings. Oh, you had to leave and you had to go do this and team up with this person to go get rings. Like Jordan didn't team up with somebody. He just happened to stay with the same team. So you have all this built up, not animosity, but built up pressure of saying, you know what, F it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to let my son go through what I just went through for 22 years.
Turn the cheek long enough. He just kept
Yeah.
turning the cheek.
Yeah. So I'm not mad at it.
So man, that's a lot of testosterone built up, man, and to segue into testosterone or lack thereof. DC, our girl, we became a fan of her. I know Rob was like not in tune in it as much, but our girl Dochi, she had some Q&A, man. And it kind of took everybody left field, man. And shout out to Chris, man, from Adidas, because he brought it to my attention. I think me and DC, we saw it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to it. And he was like, I'm done with Dochi. She trash. I was like, wait a minute, bro. Dochi got good music. And he's like, check this out. So our girl had a Q&A, and they asked her this question. And said, what's a red flag in dating when it comes to men? And our response was, A straight man is a red flag for me when it comes to dating. A lot of people were kind of thrown off by that. Rod, I see you smile. I didn't know when she said that. I was like, all right, what does that mean? Does she like boys who like boys, or does she just like women? Because she never came out and said she like women. So it was kind of an awkward question. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That make you say, But DC, we was on Facebook talking with Chris about it, and you were kind of like, yo, what's going on, bro? I'm going to give you the floor first for a ride, man. How you feeling, bro?
It's definitely weird.
I'm scratching my head.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know if she was joking and it just didn't come across that way, or she was dead ass serious. I'm not exactly sure how to take that, but I mean, if you're into women, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know what she. I'm trying to give this woman the benefit of the doubt that because it was just a clip, and I don't know what was said before. I don't know what was said after.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Doechie's music. Shout out to her; she won a Grammy. But if we're taking what she said at face value, and like honestly, she kind of represents the what's wrong with with the quote unquote modern women in dating. You know what I'm saying? That basically, as a man, if you're a man, you just have a strike against you. You know what I'm saying? Just being alive, is a strike against you. Men are already kind of getting chastised for being too short, which is like, men can't help that. But
Hey, bro.
say if a man wants a woman with a
They,
certain
they
body
oh,
type.
oh
Look,
they
I
can't
see.
help it now. They got knee surgery, bro. You can
Oh
get
yeah, yeah,
taller if you
yeah,
want to.
yeah. You can extend your legs and whatnot, so you could do that. But if that same man says he wants a woman with a certain body type, he gonna get flamed for it. And a woman can change her body type, to an extent. And I'm not talking surgery. I'm talking about a gym membership. You know what I'm saying? So it's wild. That's a wild take. I'm hoping that it was a joke. I'm hoping it was a joke, and the internet just maybe took it too serious.
Yeah. She
Um,
was up and then she about to drop another album. The good old
yeah, I
Stevie
mean,
Wonder.
she won a Grammy. She got to come back.
Mhm.
Whenever you win a Grammy, you got to run it back. So she got clips loaded. She about to drop something soon this year. She got to capitalize off that trophy.
Yeah.
So it could be that. This could be the rollout. Who knows?
Rod, it's the
Nah,
rollout or
I think it was some truth to it. She is bisexual, by the way. So I think it was some
Okay.
truth to it. I think it was the Breakfast Club where she mentioned she was bisexual, and one thing she mentioned in there is she found it weird if that she'll date a bisexual man, but she'll find it weird if they don't want her to be bisexual, but they're bisexual. So it was something weird with that. But a lot of that was talking about that "Denial is a River" song, which she said was true. It is what it is. So I'm thinking for her, it probably is just a sense of that's a red flag for her specifically. I just can't wrap my head around what the hell she would mean by that.
I feel you. Nah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I feel you though, bro. It's
oh,
if she's serious, that's just weird, dog.
yeah.
That's weird.
That's cool. Speaking of new for 2025, man, we got a new guest for 2025 for Women's Month, man. And maybe she gonna drop a word that we gonna use too going forward too in our next shows, man. But she's super dope. Um, I had an opportunity with my wife last year to go to one of her restaurants that she has in South Park and in Charlotte. We was in South Park.
South Park, that's where the money at.
Talk about it, bro. And it was dope, man. Super down to earth female, man. And had a great conversation with her over dinner when she visited our table. And so we had to have her on the show. And so I got the homie. I'm gonna call her the homie. Cause we was chopping it up over Instagram and all that good stuff too. When we talked yesterday too, it's the homie. We got Jahzmin Nekol French, aka the owner, and we gonna talk about what that means because she gonna share that story too. But the owner of JINYA Ramen Bar, good food by the way. I ain't saying it just because she joining us, man. But Jahzmin, hello, what's up?
Hey y'all, what's up? How are y'all doing?
We good. We happy to have you. Happy to chop it up. We gonna have some fun.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yay, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, oh, and one last thing, author by the way.
Oh
Yeah, you gotta flex that muscle.
yeah.
Flex that muscle. So man, yeah, before we get started, yeah, just tell people who you are. Who you are, where you from, what you doing.
Yes. So Jasmine Fringe, I am here in Charlotte. I'm currently my main focus right now that takes all of my time I'm a franchisee for the Charlotte market for a Japanese concept called JINYA Ramen Bar. I am the first Black franchisee, and I'm
Mm.
probably am the youngest. So many partners have come in now, so I might still be the youngest. But yeah, first African American to become a part of the brand in an ownership role. So just grateful for the opportunity. Had the opportunity to be trained by Japanese chefs. So
Mm.
girl can cook
Mm.
that ramen broth just like they do in Tokyo, as well as other izakaya plates and things like that, and now sushi. So that's pretty cool. Something I would have never saw myself, being a part of. And it's been a wild ride. It's not easy. But it's been a blessing to be a gateway for people to try Japanese cuisine and ramen outside of those little 18-cent packs that I feel like we've all had the opportunity to eat. So yeah,
Never again. Never again. I can't do it.
Got
yeah, got your back. I got some authentic ramen for you. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
what Glorilla say? Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Now, are you originally
Mm.
from Charlotte?
I'm from Pensacola, Florida, in the Panhandle.
Pensacola.
She
Okay.
cold.
Born and raised.
Nice.
Man.
Nice. What brought you to Charlotte?
Literally Jinya. Went with them to LA, met with the founder, Tomonori Takahashi, his team for about 8 hours. Of course, before that, so many other boxes were checked. But we pinched the Pensacola market, and they denied it at the time due to the demographics, household income, and some other things.
Mm.
Um, they were actually about to open a corporate location in Charlotte. The Atlanta owner wanted Charlotte. The DC owner wanted the Charlotte market. And you know how God worked, offered us to develop in the Charlotte market that same day. And they were like, "How do you feel?" I'm like, "I have to go home and ask permission from my parents. I'm a single mom. I can't say yes. I don't know if I can pick up my life and move to Charlotte." But I went home, had a family meeting. My family is my family, so they agreed to support me the best they could. Here I am. We agreed to develop in the Charlotte market, and that's what brought me to the Queen City.
And develop
Nice.
fast.
Nice.
You got 2 locations, right?
Yes, I have two locations. One is in Uptown Charlotte.
Mm.
It was a brand new build out, really dope spot, about 2 blocks from the Panther Stadium, very close to the convention center, and
Okay.
not far from the Spectrum Center as well. And then the South Park location where I met T and his wife, that is actually the largest location in the United States and Canada for the brand.
That's what's up. So, question. Let me ask this. So, I'm a small business owner as well. I've got a property management company. It's a franchise. Could you talk about what made you decide to go the franchise route instead of kind of just come up with your own logo, figuring it out yourself, and open up a spot?
Absolutely. So, that's a great question. A lot of people ask that because we have a lot of people that are true entrepreneurs, right? And it's nothing like having your own, something you built, created, like it's yours. But one real big positive of going the franchise route is they figured it out already. They've lost, they've gotten all the black eyes.
Yep.
They've structured everything. They know what they're doing. They brought in the best people to make, to outsource the best ingredients. They've also done all the menu engineering, figured out the best flavor profiles from the people who need to be doing that. I'm not Japanese, so we need people who know what they're doing. But what the franchise does is it has the play written, and now you just have
Hmm.
to run the play and win the game. So, and we looked at so many franchises at the time, and the reason Virginia stuck out to us. They seem to have the most complete package
Yeah.
and the best support. The corporate support and almost, I think of the word embrace. I feel like so many of the franchise companies or the brands that we looked at were just big gatekeepers, and they're
Mm.
good, but it's good to be open because these are the people who are going to grow your brand. These are going to be the arms and legs of your company throughout the country or possibly international. So to hold on tight is great to have control. But they just had this embrace feeling like we're excited to possibly have you. Let's see if this is a good fit. And they were the most collected brand that we saw fit. And it didn't feel like there were roadblocks up or gates up, it was like, you know what? Let's hold your hand. Let's see if we like you and see if you have what it takes. And it felt really, really good. And honestly, the Japanese culture is really dope. Just being exposed to it as a Black woman has been a really cool ride. And honestly, they just had the best structure. And that's what you want to look for in a franchise. Are you structured? Tell me how much I can make. Tell me, your struggles. You can talk to other owners as well. Would you ever do it again? Everyone said yes. So it was a go.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. Just like you said, and the play is there. They've got probably strategies to help with marketing to get cheeks and seats and whatnot. One thing about small businesses, I would say something like 60% of small businesses fail within about like 5 years or so, something like that. Whereas franchises, I want to say like 5% fail, the
Mhm.
failure rate. So for those out there that's looking to take that leap into entrepreneurship, because to me owning a franchise is entrepreneurship. It's a form, it's a
Mhm.
variation of it. And so for those that's looking to take that leap, I would strongly say look into franchising. No need to reinvent it. Whatever you're trying to do, somebody else has probably done it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And learn from them. Wise men, wise women learn from others' mistakes instead of going through it themselves. So I think that's dope.
So let me ask you a question because I have a certain mindset around two different things that I would probably not have the most fun dealing with. One of them I'm actually in. So I'm in the financial industry. So finances and food are two things that's probably the toughest when it comes to service. So why
Yeah.
food? What made you go into the food industry?
Ooh, I've been in the food industry for 22 years. I worked at Steak and Shake when I was in high school in Pensacola near Cordova Mall, and I loved it. And I actually tried to get a job at McDonald's. All my friends worked there. They did not hire me. I was the most hurt as a teenager that McDonald's did not hire
Oh
me.
wow.
Land of opportunity, right? They hire special needs people. I was qualified. So, but I didn't get the job. I went and applied, and I ended up being in a service role where I was like waiting on guests, cashing out people. And I really learned that I loved it. And I was so grateful that I got that rejection from that fast food concept, and had an opportunity to dive into something that was kind of like fast casual, but still kind of full service as well. And I just honestly fell in love with it. So after 22 years of being in the industry, I've done retail here and there in college, but I've really stuck in this lane because I enjoy it. And it's not always fun. It's not always forgiving. Dealing with the public is very hard. Yeah, even to your point, talking about finances, the restaurant industry is not a large margin industry. If it was a bar, yes. If it was something different where you're, just getting all your money up front, yes. But the margins in the restaurant industry are very, very tight. So you have to really know what you're doing. You have to make decisions that are best for the business, and you have to like really negotiate pricing. You have to do so much to get that money to the bottom line. And you can still have crazy stuff happen. Something breaks down.
Hmm.
Now you need to repair. A storm comes through. Now you gotta close for a day. I mean, so many, I call them X factors in one of my books that I wrote, the X factor. And it's just the whatever that can happen to hurt your business.
Hmm.
Um and then the slimmest opportunity to make, a profit already. I mean, one big thing can hurt you, and a few small things built up can hurt you. So you really have to be creative. And I
Hmm.
will tell you the thing you don't get to do when you are part of a franchise. The creativity does go out the window. You have to
Hmm.
run it the way. So that's another challenge. So.
That was
Let
a
me
light flex too, by the way. One of the books I wrote that was
Yeah.
light flex. I
I
like
was
it.
gonna get
Oh,
to that
I
too.
was not trying to flex, but
No, no, no. Do it. Go
Hey,
for
hey, let her cook. Let her cook.
it.
Yeah, no, that's dope. Let me ask you this. So as a small business owner, especially during COVID and after COVID, one thing that I hear a lot about is staffing issues. People don't want to work, or this and the third. And I imagine the food industry in particular, um, just staffing is an issue across the board. Is that anything you've really had to deal with, or how do you go about that?
You need to take a woosah moment, Jazz.
Yes, I need. Yeah, it has been horrible.
Yeah.
That is probably the worst. You see me rocking back and forth, right? Like
Yeah.
I am.
said, you were triggering me. That was the trigger right there.
Never
But
fails.
yeah, man. And you know what? I've had to get in a space where you just really have to not take it personal. I'm a people person. I'm a people pleaser. That's why I'm good at the hospitality industry, period. I want people to be happy where they work. To have to depend on so many people. And like I said, we have one of the locations that's the largest in the country. That's a cool fact to say out loud, but how many people do I need to run that building, right? From
Mm-hmm.
the back. So, and I never recommend for anybody to build a restaurant this large ever. Don't do it. But
Mm.
because you need more people to run it, and that's the true reason why. Um After COVID, I think so many people made transitions, honestly, even in a positive way. A lot of people became entrepreneurs that were in the food service industry. A lot of people went away from the industry because it was just ravished, to be honest,
Yeah.
and went into different fields. So even the workforce head count was low once the world started opening up. At the time I was living in Florida, we actually had some restaurants, 3 restaurants in Louisiana at the time, which was like the second highest affected state in the country with COVID. And it rocked my world. So bring it back to present day. Just now, I feel like I'm having a little bit of breathing room with the workforce, a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think COVID brought out the reality of people needing personal days. I'm quitting because of my mental health. I'm stepping away because of me, and people feel more confident in saying, you know what? I'm just sad. I'm depressed. And they quit right then and there, and the customers don't care. And one of my things is no matter what happens, who doesn't show up, that door unlocks 7 days a week.
Yep.
We run 14 shifts, and whoever shows up has to still give the best service. We
Yep.
have to still produce high quality food. I just told my mom, um and a new friend of mine, like, nobody really knows how much you've gone through before you open that door for business. I've had to chase down staff. I've been caught, cooking the food, serving the food. Like, I'm a true operating partner, right, in this business. I'm the host, I'm the bartender. I'm in the back checking my soup, making sure I don't burn, because I don't play by my soup at all. It's gonna be perfect. So, doing all the things because I am not able to fully depend on people. I tell my mom I want Tesla bots. Their cats don't get hit by cars. They don't need a day to recoup. They don't need
Right.
it to feel that way. But when guests are in front of you, they don't care. And
That's a
sometimes,
fact.
That is
Say that.
super
Say that.
facts.
Jasmine, can you say that one more time
Run
for
that
the
yeah,
back.
people?
Run that back.
the people, the guests, when they're in front of you, they do not care what you're going through. And it's a fair thing, right? Because who knows what they went through. And they're like,
Exactly.
I'm gonna go get some JINYA. It's gonna make me feel better. And to be honest, my prices are not low because my groceries are high like the rest of the world. We have Japanese products being imported. We're authentic. It's not cheap to be authentic. So my prices are not low, and our job is to give them the value for the money that they worked hard for and that they decided
Mm.
all of Charlotte to come and spend. I'm very passionate about making
Yes,
people
talk your
happy.
talk.
And if you are not excellent and you're on my team, I just got onto my staff last night. If they watch this, they're gonna be like, she's crazy or she was crazy. But I say, y'all, we have to be excellent. We need to be pampering and catering to our guests. Nobody minds spending money on what they think they should be getting.
Big facts.
The moment we drop the ball,
Hmm.
they feel the cost. We have to pamper them, cater to them. Their drink should never be halfway. Like, I'm very like crazy in that fact of I want to blow people away when they
Hmm.
come to my restaurant. And I, Jahzmin, can't deliver that on my own. So to your point, having a workforce to depend on has been the biggest pain in my butt.
Mm-hmm.
Hardest thing to deal with because these are people who actually need money and they don't show up to make the money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's
I'm gonna
hard.
tell you. You said a lot within that we need to break that down a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's a really great point, and shout out DC for transitioning to that. And DC is, I understand now why you're so gung ho about the Tesla bot now, because DC's been an advocate. Like, I'm buying them. I'm buying
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Love language.
It
He's
was-
like, man, I'm getting worker bots. I'm getting nanny bots. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robots don't call out sick.
It was
Robots,
not
cats
until
don't
she
die.
said that. Yeah, it was not until she said that I understood. Like, why is he
Right.
so gung ho about this robot?
Yeah.
But that is so true. In the industry, and everyone on this call or on this pod has been in some form of leadership, so we all understand what you're going through and what you're saying. Obviously, it might be a different industry, but people are people, right? So you run through the
Yep.
same people problems whatever industry that you're in, and it's tough. I can only imagine, again, when you're dealing with someone's food, and a lot of times that's an escape for whatever realities or just a getaway or whatever. Like, that's in some instances someone's vacation, right? Just going to get something to eat. That's why I don't know if I could do it. So I'm going to commend you right now and give you your flowers. I did visit your restaurant last night in South Park.
yeah, undercover
Surprise. And I was pleasantly surprised, right?
Okay.
T was like, yeah, ask for Jahzmin. You should let her know you come. I'm like, nah, I want to get the full experience. I don't want to have
Oh, you
nobody
pulled that.
know
What was that?
Yeah,
What's that critic with the locks who be doing that? He will go in and do like a secret review, and he like has that monotone voice.
Keith Lee.
Yeah, you did a Keith Lee on her, bro. This man pulled a Keith Lee on her.
yeah, he pulled up because he's like, man,
Yeah.
he's like, man, me and the wife going to JINYA. I was like, man, how about Jahzmin? I just stopped there earlier today. He's like, nah, I probably ain't, bro. I'm just gonna we gonna vibe out. I was like, man,
Yeah.
y'all gonna enjoy it though. Y'all gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
I was pleasantly surprised, right? I don't have too many requests from a service standpoint, right? My one thing that is, I would say, is a pet peeve of mine, obviously the basics of just getting the food right, having it taste good, not burnt and all that stuff, but just keep my water glass filled. Like, I don't want to have to ask you for water. And
Did
when
they
you
do that?
said that, yeah, that was good. No, we were good. We were
Okay.
good. But yeah, when you said that, like, if your glass is half full, I need it refilled. I wonder how many people actually think like that. I'm one of those. I just thought I was weird because I'm like, I don't ask for much. Just, I shouldn't have to ask you for water, right? So shout out to JINYA, South Park. I haven't visited the other location, but shout out to South Park location.
Man, that's what's up. There we go, bro.
Where you were sitting, and our lights are very low.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw you roll by a couple times. We were
Okay.
like right near the restrooms, that last booth right before the restrooms. Once little critique, and we can cut this out if we need to. The one side of the booth was a little bit smaller than the other side, so we had to double
You
up
were
on one
sitting
side.
at table 60.
Wow.
Hey, there you go.
Jahzmin with dreads
Yep.
was waiting,
Yep.
and
You are truly an owner operator.
Hey,
that booth is built wrong.
she know what's going on in the house.
The booth is actually not built to the spec, and it is very, very tight. And we try
Mhm.
not to see people in that booth. So, yeah, you were sitting right there at table 60, waiting
Yep.
on
He told me that too.
podcast.
He was like, yeah.
By Jahzmin.
My server was Jahzmin, but I know it wasn't that Jahzmin because I pulled a picture up from him. But my server,
Yeah.
know what's going on, bro.
She own it.
She own it, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you are really an owner operator. Like, you just
Mhm.
like, I could tell you probably like just breathe that place. You know what I mean? Like,
I
Yeah.
do.
So-
You know what?
I feel you on that. I feel you.
I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. I got a 3-star review last night,
Mm.
and I checked on this table probably like 2 times. And this is another thing that just proves my point of people don't care, And this wasn't a review or reflection, but it just gives the guest a voice, So
Yep.
if you have or you just off that day or whatever, they have such a voice that the world can see. So you want to nail it, right? They know that.
Mm-hmm.
They know how damaging it could be. But I checked on this table like 3 times. I brought them ponzu sauce and was like, everything great. Never said a word. I'm clearly dressed different. They know I have to be in a position of power. And not once did they say anything, but yet they chose to go on to Google and
Yeah,
they didn't care for, their octopus balls and some of the crispy chicken. It could have been a little different for them. And it really hurt my feelings because I'm like, look, I came to the table. I am involved. I care. And here you go tell the world instead of telling me.
Mm-hmm.
I could have fixed that. And I tell people, we want to be perfect, but the moment we drop the ball, because we're human, our recovery has to be fantastic. And that's what I teach my team. So I hate when somebody takes the opportunity for me to reconcile something, and but they go tell everybody on the playground.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
Yeah, she
Mo- mo-
she pulled up on us last year. Me and
no,
my
yeah,
yeah,
She's like, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good? And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I know who you are. You Jahzmin. She's like, man, how you know my name?
I was like,
Nice to meet
mm-hmm.
yeah.
you.
And I feel you because reviews, especially I think across the board, are really the lifeblood of any small business.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I understand the frustration. You feel like you really did everything that you could, and you still don't get that review that you wanted. One sliver of, I guess, silver lining is when you don't get a great review. What I do is always respond. I respond to all reviews, good,
yeah,
bad, ugly,
yeah,
and to me, when you, especially in my industry, property management, a lot of people will go to reviews because we, unfortunately, we get bad reviews because we have tenants that are upset. Tenants don't get their security deposit when they move out, and they may say whatever
Mm-hmm.
they have to say. There's not much you can do about that, but the response for me, because a lot of my reviews are more so for our owner clients, folks who own properties that maybe want me to manage their property. They're going in and they're dialing in and reading the reviews. But when you get a review that's not so great, when you do respond, what I find is clients appreciate that response, even if you didn't get as many stars as you would have liked.
We want to be heard.
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true, DC. And I'm a responsive person. I respond to really almost all reviews. That's something I personally wanted to get better at, and I'm proud of my consistency in doing that. And you're exactly right. Sometimes they just want to see. It's almost like being on social media, right? Like I'm here for the comments, like
That's it. Yeah.
people want to
I'm a comment
see,
king.
like, are you going to defend yourself? Are you going to say sorry? Like, how are you going to take this? Because it is how people shop, and they do have the ability to say, oh, this person is just complaining. We going, come on, what? Put the GPS on, or they might say, oh, we're not going there. There's no way, this is our one date night a month. We got to go somewhere great. But,
Yeah.
but we track that. It's important to us. I get my leaders to buy into that. My Uptown location ended the month of February at a 4.9 in Google and star ratings for Google and
Okay.
Yelp. Yep.
Yeah.
And then South Park was a 4.8 for Google and Yelp. So, we want to do our best. So
Yeah.
it
And I'll
matters.
tell you, in a weird way, you almost don't want to have all 5 stars because if you have all fives, then people will think this can't be real.
Yeah,
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I
that's
mean?
true. Yeah.
So you,
Mm-hmm.
you, you need a little bit of dirt under your nails, just a little bit,
Oh, that show you put
and
Yeah.
effort
people will
in.
see and they're like, oh, okay, this is. And then when they do see the few bad reviews, they're like, this person's probably a hater because they got 1,000 5s and
Mm-hmm.
10 3s or under or 4 or under.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I'm going to that place. You know what I mean? It's like it's real,
Sure.
it's authentic.
DC.
I think that goes a long way.
Literally,
Earlier you were, huh?
I was gonna say literally what my wife looked at because I was like, "Hey, we gonna go to this bar." I googled this lady. She's like, owner, like super dope, look like us, like bro. I think this is, my wife. She on the vegetarian kick, so she not eating all the meat. I'm like, this is gonna be perfect. She's like, oh, I looked it up on Yelp. It has some good reviews. Nice. You know what I mean? So I
Mm-hmm.
looked at it. And it was like a 4.8, 4.9. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Oh, it's not far. I
Yeah.
know what it said. It's a nice location. Yep. So you do those reviews. You see some of the bad ones. I was like, it's whatever, man. They probably had a bad day.
Yeah.
They're entitled to
Yeah.
that. But I'm going.
Yeah.
We pulled up, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've gotten a 1-star review in Uptown because they couldn't get a parking spot, so they never even came into my building.
Come
I'm
on,
like,
bruh.
give it to the city of Charlotte. Don't give me the
Right.
1 star.
This
You
shows
Yeah.
could have
Right.
gave it to the Ally Bank building. I couldn't believe it. And
I agree with
a friend
that.
of mine, he was like, "That's a good bad review." Actually, I'm like,
It's
Honestly, it is.
to the
That
city.
is
yeah,
really.
It's
Yeah, it
city
really
because
is.
that was the reason. Be transparent. I wasn't gonna go to the one in Uptown.
yeah,
Real talk.
it's so
I'm
bad,
not
y'all.
going uptown, man. I hate parking. I hate all the traffic. Oh, South Park. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
uptown, anything downtown, any city, like you have to expect that parking is going to be troublesome.
Man.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a cop out. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's what I said. They
yeah.
just, I don't know. It
Man,
like,
Jasmine, like Rod said, you was flexing. He said one of your books, The X Factor. But I know another book that you wrote right before COVID. My restaurant is on fire. Tips on
Yeah.
how to prevent your restaurant's culture from going up in flames. Where you talk about establishing, rebuilding, or even revising the culture in your restaurant. How
Yeah.
challenging that can be.
Yeah.
You talk about the impact of employee turnover positively influencing your bottom line, sharing those restaurant secrets and mistakes to give insight on ways to increase leadership skills, employee
Yes.
morale, self care. A lot of the things that you touched on a few moments ago. But I noticed that you wrote this book ironically right before COVID. This was like April
I did.
2019, right? So let me ask you this.
I ain't the only one who do
How
homework
does,
on you.
huh?
I say I ain't the only one who do homework on you.
Oh,
We
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not. Yeah. So considering that, the environment that you wrote that book, and now fast forward to 6 years later, would you do like a 2.0
Oh
or?
man, it's already in. Yes, to answer your question. I told my mom this. I said, I am rewriting that book. First of all, I enjoyed writing that book so much. Just to get in this space. And I was going through a lot in my life, T, you said everybody has a story. I have like a crazy story, only those close to me know because I only let people on social media see what I want them to see.
That's
But
right.
God has been so good to me, but I've been through more than I feel like I should have had to go through. But it's my story, it's my journey. But I enjoy writing that book so much. Um, when my cousin Bethany listens to this, I was there for 24 hours, y'all, working on this book, and I just felt like I had so much to share. But I told my mom, I said, at this point, the things that I've gone through, after COVID, to your point, and even being introduced to the true like franchise world of restaurants and things
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, ooh, I can help people in such a different way. So I will be revising that book or upgrading it in a sense and relaunching that at some point. And I'm excited to do it because this has been literally one of the hardest things that I've ever done. After me feeling like I was pouring out some things in that book, at the time was the hardest thing that I had ever done. So I've been stretched so much in all the wrong ways.
Mm.
And I'm just grateful to be the resilient person that I am through God's grace. And I have so much to share that I think that will help so many people. But writing that book and like even having to apply some of that stuff in an even more challenging time after COVID has been a blessing. So yes, to answer your question, there will be a
Okay.
2.0.
All right. That's
On
what's
the
up.
way, because
That's
you
what's up.
prophesized.
Well, for those who's interested, just want to let y'all know you can find this book on Amazon right now. You can get the paperback. You can get the ebook on Kindle. So for those
Yes,
that are listening that are thinking about taking that leap, definitely read the book. Educate yourself. Get that information. It's there for you.
yes,
Hey, and I got a question for you, Jazz, and to what DC said earlier, and Rod when he made that undercover boss visit. You can breathe that
The
space.
Keith Lee.
Yeah,
He pulled the Keith Lee on him.
he pulled the Keith Lee easy too, and saw you walking around. You DC said you are the true owner operator. You can close your eyes and know where everything is,
hmm
and in a split second. And being that owner operator, you coined the phrase manager.
yeah,
Like, tell us and folks listening, man, what does that word onager mean to you, and how
yeah.
you come up with that?
Look, this is so crazy because God gave me that as I was writing this book. My restaurant is on fire, and it was in the middle of the night. It had to be probably 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, and I just heard onager. And when God speaks to you, it's not in this deep rolling voice; it's your voice,
Yeah,
That's
in
right.
your head. So it's so cool to have that moment, like, okay. And I was like, onager. And I like wrote it down. I was like, onager, onager. And I remember like being in the room at this desk. I was staying at my aunt's house at the time. Love her. Thank you, auntie. And I was writing this book and I was just in grind mode. I was broke. And I was like, I don't get to sleep. I don't get to rest. I'm broke. I have 2 kids. I have every minute of the day, I have to be working on generating revenue. And I would get money for certain things, but bills don't stop. So it come in. It was a
Nope.
true flow. So I was just hungry like I had never been hungry before. So I'm writing this book. It's the middle of the night, and I just hear the word onager. And I'm like, onager, the owner and the manager. Onager, twice the boss. You're twice the boss.
Hmm.
And I remember I had the slogan, "I'm twice the boss you will ever be." And my mom was like, "That doesn't seem very nice."
Yeah, that's kind of
Anybody can
shots
be the
fired.
boss.
Hey, listen,
Leave it to
listen.
your mom to bring you down some, right? Like, no, baby. Don't be saying you twice the boss and somebody else could ever be. You just twice the boss. Yeah, onager, being the owner and the manager. And I didn't even think about it for restaurants. I thought about it for on down to a stay-at-home mom, right? You own a home and you have to a home has to be managed. You have to manage a family. You have to manage finances for your family. You have to manage the grocery inventory in your refrigerator and your pantry for your family. You might have to manage your diaper inventory. I mean, you have to manage your life. So owning it and taking ownership for how you want to have yourself viewed, how you want to carry yourself, owning, a business, owning a legacy, whatever you want to own, but managing that thing. So, yeah, the owner of your brand, man, twice the boss.
I like how you drew that parallel to being a housewife
Yeah,
because I think that especially in today's culture, the term housewife has been negatively stigmatized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And it shouldn't be. I mean, just everything that you just said is that's real. That's
yeah,
real. So I just say shout out to those who can because it can be tough
yes,
in modern society to live off of one income.
yes.
So shout out to those that do, and those wives or even husbands nowadays that
Yeah.
make that choice to be the owner of the home. There's a real value there, and I feel like that has been a little bit devalued in today's society.
Yeah, that's so true. That's a deep one. Especially to me, I feel like I was one of those women who were like, "Oh, you're a stay-at-home mom." Me just being who I am and kind of having to be the sole income person, and I have been married and divorced before, but even then, our ratio, I was the breadwinner at the time, and it was fine. That was our dynamic. But at the same time, I was one of those people who devalued the house mom or the housewife. And then having my son, having 2 kids, and then just seeing all the things you do have to do, and honestly being divorced, that was my partner. He was a great husband, he was a great dad. So now having that piece out of the house, now I'm the one taking out the trash, I'm the one doing it, and I still have to do all the things that I was doing before. So it's not meant for
Yeah,
one person. So to have that person in the home, it's a very high value to that. And it is a blessing to, like you said, those who can. Some people can't do that. And it's just so much harder. So I've definitely been converted. I had that happen to me before. I came up with onager, but at the same time, it's big and it's important. And I've definitely had to change a heart on my personal view of somebody staying home
Hmm.
all day.
So even as a onager, you can be twice the boss for sure, but understanding the power that comes with that title is key, and it seems like you understand that. So that's pretty dope.
yeah.
It's a brand, man. It really is a brand, and she even
It's
got
like blue
kids.
magic.
It is. Oh, it is.
I just had a thought. Question, Jasmine. What is your thoughts? What are your thoughts on tipping? Like,
Oh man, here we go, DC. I
the
know.
standard used to be 15%, right? And if you really like the person or the survey was 18, maybe even 20%. And I'm not talking like a large party or nothing like that. I'm just talking, date night, maybe, couples night, double date, 4 people, 2 people, 4 people, something like that. And now what I have kind of seen is when I go to pay the bill, 15 don't even show on the screen no more, bro. It goes straight to 20, then 22 or 25.
Usually
You know what I'm
18 is the
saying?
It is
lowest I
18.
see.
Some is 18. Some 18.
Yeah, I seen maybe 8, but I done seen 20, bro. And I'm like, and then you can do the custom tip, but now like when you go, I don't know how it is at JINYA, but now like a lot of these restaurants, they bring the little the handheld controller thing, so you got to pay with Apple Pay, and they give you the options. Now you can do the custom, but then you got to sit there, and it's almost awkward because they're sitting with the thing in their hand, and you sitting there trying to do the math for what you want to do, and it's just like everybody staring at you. So it's almost like you just feel compelled to just push the button, even if you didn't want to maybe do whatever. I don't know what. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm cheap. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
It ain't just you.
you know,
I feel guilty hitting that button though.
Yeah, because it's like, man, I'm like, bro, I ain't really trying to do 20 like that. But that's like the lowest
Man.
option y'all gave me. Now I got to do the math. And I'm like, okay, what? Come on, bro.
it's so crazy. I've had so many people just over the years because I've been in the industry in a position where it's like they feel comfortable asking, do I tip on takeout? How much should I tip? I really didn't like the service. I feel bad or whatever. I know at JINYA, we have our lowest is 18% that's suggested. What I teach my team is gratuity is actually an option. We do automatic gratuity in like large groups and things like that. Sometimes I do in-house caterings, which is really dope. I enjoy doing that. And yeah, we're going to put that gratuity on there. And we want the staff to be taken care of and it needs to be worth their while. By the way, and of course, it's their choice to be in the industry in their role. But servers make $2.13 an hour. Okay. So by law, we have to make sure that they're making at least minimum wage. And we can only do that through the gratuities that are coming in from the guests. At the same time, they need to be doing the work for the money, right? But gratuity is always an option. Um, and it's rated on how well you took care of me. Did I have to run you down for water? Am I sucking ice and I'm eating this spicy ramen? So tipping needs to happen. It's the way people make their money. But the percentages in which you're willing to give is definitely it should be based off of the service. That's why I'm not a big fan of restaurants that have automatic gratuity like off the rip. Like they let you know no matter if you're one person, two people, six people, 13 people, you will have automatic gratuity on your bill. I think it can make the staff relax and they know they're going to get the money. So they might not go over and beyond and give you tremendous service. It's money in their pocket automatically. So I think it could be a hindrance to unlocking the next level of service that your team is willing to give to your guests to get those guests to continue to come back. So it can hurt the business. And also, I think it might even hinder people tipping more because they might just go off of that number versus their feelings and say, you know what, this was amazing. It was great. The food was good, the service was good, the drinks were good. Oh, she getting $100 from me. And we have people who do that. So I think it just depends on the establishment. I think it depends on because as a business owner, you might have automatic gratuity to help you in recruiting, right? So now
Mm,
you're fighting a sales role, but if you can guarantee no matter what, you're going to make 18% of your sales, that's a way to recruit employees in a world that is hard to have people.
okay.
So it's important to I think just be educated on it. I'm grateful to see people are tipping now. I like it's a more conscious decision. It's no secret that people felt like, oh, black people don't tip, foreign people don't tip. In the industry, there's been a looming reality of who's going to tip. And guess what? They show up at your table mistreating you because they're like, this is not going to be worth it for me. They don't even give you the opportunity. So people have consciously made the decision to be better tippers and it's come to the forefront a lot in media. I've seen on Good Morning America them talking about, do I tip my hairstylist, do I tip my barber, do I tip my massage therapist? Like it has come to the front about gratuities. So if your service is bad, no, that person doesn't deserve 18%. They need to earn that money. It's always an option usually to tip according to the value that you saw fit. Um, so
Now, now, do we know why the server is paid so little? Like, why is that a standard? I know it's been around forever, but why is that a standard to get paid like $2 versus just give me a decent salary and then we get a little bit off the top?
yeah, so honestly, I don't know like where it originated from and how they came to that conclusion. That was what my time.
Y'all know I can tell you. But go, I can tell you why.
Let's go.
Because Rod, you beat me to it because I was actually about to touch on this. So
Okay.
I can tell you why. It started with the Great Depression. So when the Great Depression happened in the 30s, the owners of restaurants couldn't really afford to pay their employees their normal pay and keep the doors open. So they said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna pay you. We'll call it $2. I'm sure it was less at the time, but hey, I'm gonna pay you $2, and you're gonna have to get the rest of your money from the customers because I ain't got it right now."
Mm-hmm.
And then the Great Depression ended, but that practice never ended. So it started in the 30s. Matter of fact, there was no such thing as tipping until the 30s when the Great Depression happened, and
Wow.
the culture just never went away. And so that actually takes me. What I was going to say is to the restaurant. Then I'm gonna say this: if I got to stand up to order, I ain't tipping shit. You know what I'm saying? If I got to stand up to order, if I got to, because you ever walk up to like Subway or some sandwich shop or whatever, they
Yeah.
make the sandwich, you want to tip. I'm not tipping you to make my sandwich. You just gonna do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, why would I tip you to do something that you have to do? And I gotta stand up, and I gotta go get my own food. You know what I'm saying? No, bro, I'm not
Hot
tipping.
take.
Zero,
Hot
Yeah.
take.
zero,
Some
every single time.
They make you tip before you even get anything. I mean, it's right there at the register. You place your order, you pay, and you tip right then and there. And it is an
Hmm.
anxiety, like they're watching you, So,
Mm-hmm.
they still got to touch my food and make it. So it's definitely a different feeling to tip up front versus
Mm-hmm.
having someone cash you out and tipping after you have had the entire experience. It's really unfair to the paying guests to give up that gratuity before in hopes that you will get taken care of, right? That's like
Hmm.
the opposite of the point of gratuity. But to speak to the financial piece of that, it is very helpful. Again, I share the margins. The restaurant industry is very thin. It's very helpful to be in a state that requires only the 213 when we're talking about labor costs. It's
Mm-hmm.
hot, but you go to Florida, where I'm from, it's higher. It's like $4 or $5 an hour. So you're already paying more in labor costs for the same rule, right? I get to pay you less than, the state minimum wage for hourly
Hmm.
work because the tips are going to compensate for that. But now on your P&L or profit and loss statement, you're already going to be paying more in labor costs just because of the state you're located in. But
Hmm.
it is very helpful. So what I try to do for my staff, I let them know how much they make per hour when I run their payroll. I'm like, you make like $35 an hour, really? And they don't feel it because it's a sales role. They're getting the money, they're spending. I have a lot of young staff in South Park for sure.
Mm.
Same time, you have to give them that reality. Hey, you're making money. You are making money. Whether you manage it well or not in your real life is that's not up to me.
Right.
But you have to prove to people like, hey, even though you make 213 an hour, that's just to show up. When you do
Hmm.
your job, do it well, you
Mm-hmm.
make $27 an hour. You making $30 an hour. I have several top earners in Uptown. They're making good money, and it's doing something fun. If you could see it that way, taking care of guests. They came in there to spend money, and we need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure they have a good time. Paying a gratuity up front is a little unfair. That speaks to, I think, DC, the point you're making, like people trying to take advantage because they don't want to pay their
Mm-hmm.
people. They make the
Mm-hmm.
customers pay.
Hmm.
That feels a lot more real to that scenario versus me paying you a gratuity because you killed it. You were great. I didn't have to ask
Hmm.
for a refund. My food was hot. You got my order right. Thank you. And we're out. We'll be back.
Yeah, and I'm talking
And
like
this is
Subway. Like if I
Yeah,
go to Subway, bro, and they make the sandwich and they ask for a tip, what am I tipping for exactly? You know what I'm saying? You ain't cert
those
like
match, bro. They are, what do they call themselves? Sandwich artists or something like that, man. That's
but they
man.
don't
They
ask
they
for a
they
tip at Wendy's.
they
Are they doing
killing their
anything
sound.
different at Subway than Wendy's?
They
They
make
doing
it
the
in front of
same
your
thing.
face.
Lettuce.
That's what they. That's what they're doing. They're making it in front of your
Hey,
face, bro.
don't hate the
so
player.
so since I can see
Yeah,
them, I gotta tip them.
that's right.
Mind you, the people at Subway don't make $2 an hour. They
Hey,
make I don't know what they make, but it's not
yeah, I
two
don't
dollars
know.
an hour.
no doubt.
I mean, when I worked at Subway back when I was in college, and I got paid like $7 an hour. It was trash, but it wasn't $2 an hour. And this was also in
Hey,
like two
man,
thousand
I'm about to
and
say
three.
7 back then was actually pretty decent, man.
Yeah, you
I,
right.
I
I
made
wouldn't
like
call it
eight.
that. Seven,
I
seven is
made
seven, bro. Like,
back then though. You in college, man? I was making $8 at the airport, man. $8 an
man, I
hour,
was
and I thought that was
I was a
everything, bro.
I was a single parent in college. seven
I
dollars
was
an
not a
hour.
parent. So $8 for me plus
Yeah.
my refund check, bro. I was living
Oh
life.
yeah.
So that, but that's how I feel about takeout. I don't tip on takeout. I
I'm not
pay
tipping on takeout either.
the tipping is for the service for me, so I don't tip on
Right.
takeout.
I'm not tipping somebody for handing me a bag. Like what? What am I? Come on, bro.
I'm a part of the industry. Also, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know how they're doing a tip split in certain restaurants, and this became very popular in COVID. Was doing a tip share for the whole team. So even the
Mm.
cooks, some companies made it a thing to where cooks would be able to have an increase of income or have some tips at the end of the night. Again, as perks to keep people on board, keep them
Mm.
employed, income flowing, and keep some retention. But you never know the inner workings of a business and how they're splitting that gratuity. And it might be going to the people who had to like really cook their food or whatever. And
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
What about people
karma
though?
is what it is. Hopefully
Yeah.
you're getting taken care of even on a to-go order. But I do tip on takeout just because I'm a part of the industry and you never know how
Mm-hmm.
it's probably fairly being distributed. And the person handing you the bag might not even be really getting it. It might be going to the right people. You know.
So you talk about the stigma of foreigners not tipping well, and I know it's a real thing. Excuse me, only because I'll say like in Europe, for example, there is no tipping culture. Matter of fact, it's frowned upon to tip. Like so, if you were to go to Spain and have a great dinner, and you try to give the server a couple dollars, they're gonna get offended. You know what I
Correct.
Mm.
mean? Like what do you like? What are you doing? Think I'm broke? You think I'm you know what I mean? So like I can understand a foreigner bringing that culture to America, not realizing that
Yeah.
that there's a stigma around it. So with that being said, I'm just putting you on the spot because you here. Like, why not just charge more for the food and just say, hey, don't worry about tipping. Whatever you see on the menu, that's the real price. Because really, if you think about it, whatever is on the menu is not the real price. I mean, unless you want to be labeled as a cheapskate and not tip. But whatever on the menu, you kind of need to add 15 to 20% to that. So you really pay. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like a hidden cost. Versus if you say, you know what, you gonna
That
pay a little
sound
bit more to
that
eat, but
that
don't worry
sounds
about
very
tipping.
ethical. That sounds very ethical, DC.
Fan of hidden costs.
Mm-hmm.
And I did just raise my menu prices. That's because my groceries went up.
Yeah.
Our corporate team sent out an email warning us, like, hey, just so y'all know, supply chain, they do a very good job. Um, but they let us know like this is coming, and it's just the way the world is right now. It's something out of their control. So to combat that and not bleed out and have to lock the doors, you have to raise your menu prices. So I'm not a big fan of including every single thing outside of doing things to survive. So even with DoorDash, third parties, we do have to push those fees out to the guests. So like things like that, absolutely, but I like the flexibility of the gratuity piece. I would never want to standardize that and then add that into my menu price. One, I'm different. I want my team to get excellent service and I want
Yeah.
you to tip based on how well they performed. And I'm going to feel like they're going to perform well because they have a leadership that cares, right? But you're going to go into restaurants where if they built that price into your burger, and some of that percentage is going to the server who's been in the back on their phone or took 10 smoke breaks and your 30-minute visit. They don't deserve that. So I'm a firm believer in gratuity being earned. And I'm definitely not a person who wants to like pad pricing in the menu as a lick.
That's lit.
Okay,
I like how
okay,
you said that.
Good answer.
yeah, no, good answer.
Yeah. Man, before we go, I wanna throw a few fast questions at you. You know, what is the top, in your opinion? You don't have to give us the number.
Okay.
What's the top dish at Junior?
Top dish.
Yeah, what's your top dish?
Spicy chicken ramen is number one.
That do sound kind of good though.
I had that.
It's
I
great.
actually had that slap. I didn't even
Yeah.
know it was a top dish, but it was slap.
Yeah, that's my number one seller. The brand has done an amazing job with launching really delicious vegan products. We have vegan ramens, not a vegan
Mm.
ramen. We have options for our vegan guests, and they taste amazing. My daughter personally loves it, and we're not vegan, but we love the vegan ramens. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So now, have you had, because it's us, it's our culture. Sometimes we we ask crazy shit, bro.
Okay.
If you had anybody like, yo, Jazz, you got that restaurant, man. Y'all throwing some ribs in there?
No.
'Cause, you know,
What?
see, I know, look at that, bro.
Those are ribs.
You know, somebody from the
Ribs
hood
at
be
a
like, yo,
Japanese
yeah,
ramen
right,
place. Nah.
bro. You know, we all got cousins. We all got
You talking about
cousins.
some ninjas, bro? You talking about ninjas?
You know
Yeah.
what
Like only the ninjas will ask that, but that was the answer. You know, we don't, if it's not on our menu or approved, we don't sell it. And that's another thing about being a part of a franchise. And this, y'all, they do it at such a high level. It's really off the chain. I just had an inspection that was about 8 hours long. They flew
Wow.
something in from LA. This was Thursday. So this just happened. And he does an 8 hour inspection. And they watch your every move. They're watching how you're ladling your soup. They're seeing if your soup scoop is the right size. They're watching how much seasoning you're putting into anything. They watch
Mm.
every move. Are you placing your green onions in this spot in the bowl? They do not play it. Are you heating this too long? Are you heating it for not long enough? Like, what does the place look like? I mean, they literally run their fingers across things and be like, "You see that dust? No lie, I have a picture of his finger with dust on it in one bite."
Wow.
So this brand does not play. So absolutely not do we sell anything for any reason that's not approved by the brand or that is not on my menu. So you're gonna like my food, so you can get what we got.
Yeah, because you know
That's awesome, man. I mean, that sounds like that might have been a stressful 8 hours, but but I'll tell you, I'm kind of a logistics guy. I'm a process guy, and just hearing that like warms my heart. It kind of makes me want to eat some ramen now,
Yes, come
because
pull up.
yeah,
You should give
I'm
it a
like
shot.
I'm. My mind honestly works very similarly to what you just said. Like everything should be the same. This much seasoning, this much, like that. Like if it works once, it's gonna work 1,000 times. So
on. Yeah.
let's commit to that.
Hey,
I'm very
So
DC,
much that's how I
DC,
think.
will you let her know that you there when you show up, or you just gonna be keep leaving?
Keith Lee, bro. Keith Lee.
keep leave.
Yeah,
Hey
Keith Lee.
man,
I might
you
have my
gotta
wife go in
understand.
first, and I'm gonna sneak in afterwards. Like I'm
I
gonna
was,
have
I
her
was
go
gonna
in. I'm gonna
say.
park my car, and she gonna get her seat, and I'm gonna just kind of slide on to the back.
That's
You have to also understand we not the mayor. Like, you know what I mean? DC and I are more introverted naturally people. We'll just rather eat the food, move on, and then write the review afterwards like the
Yeah.
people that gave her a 3 star. But we ain't gonna give you no 3 star.
No, ain't no 3 star. What I might do is like after the meal is done and after I've paid, then I might be like, "Hey, is Jasmine French around?"
Yeah.
But
aw,
I probably would. That's probably the most that I would do. I think.
that's fine.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that a lot of our people do, we'll call it, is, oh man, I think I know this person and try to get that discount. But
Try to
no,
get that hookup.
if
Exactly.
that's your business, that's your business. You know, that's your place of work, and you have prices for a reason. So I don't want no hookup from you. Now, if you give me one, I'm not gonna turn it down, but I
I'm
don't
about to
want it
say,
for
you turn it
that.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not
Hey,
gonna turn it
I would
down, but
tell them to
I'm not gonna
join.
ask for that.
They can join our loyalty program. It's a great
Hmm.
program. About free ramen. You can get $15 off your bill.
We joined
Um,
last night. Yep.
um, yeah.
and
You got
and
one.
I
You joined last night?
Yeah, we joined last night. Uh,
Hey.
and I like that you said that, Rod, because with the hookup, man, the hookup goes both ways. Like,
hmm
oh hey, hook me up, pay me, because regardless if I give you a discount or not, my costs are the same. I still got
hmm
to pay this staff. I still got to buy these groceries, like Jasmine said. I got to pay these taxes. So when we talk about the hookup, y'all, the hookup is a two-way street. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Don't look at the
For
hookup as
sure.
me just giving you a discount, because really now I'm really just getting taken advantage of, and
Yeah.
in a way, you know what I mean. So I feel you on that, Rod. That's why I said I would eat, pay, and then ask for Jasmine after the fact. That's
There
specifically
you
why I
go.
said that.
There you go.
Oh,
So
man.
one last question from me, Jasmine, and we're not gonna specify that this is like JINYA of South Park or Uptown because we know this is not going to happen. But we've heard stories of if you send your food back, the next batch that comes out might have something a little bit extra in your food because the cooks might be mad or something. Is that a real thing? I know it's not happening at yours, but
You know
have you heard
what?
that?
Of course, everybody's heard that, right? You know, just I feel like it's been depicted in movies and things like
Hmm.
that.
Mhm.
Um, So absolutely not. I will tell you, if somebody sends something back in my stores, and I've trained my managers, we get involved immediately. I had somebody's food made wrong last night. I'm gonna send her this podcast. She's gonna know I'm talking about her. We put chili oil. It comes with chili oil. She didn't want it. And
They
we put it in there anyway. I personally went into that kitchen and I remade her ramen
mm,
myself. If something's wrong, and I don't reheat anything, they be like, "Oh, they
hmm
want this and they want it to be." No, I'm starting over. Throw that away. I'm making this. And my staff will tell you, she will go and make it herself. My managers, they will go and get involved and make it. If they're not touching it, they're standing in that window, they're watching the process. We do not play that. Our integrity is intact. If something drops on the floor, it goes to dish and then wash your hands because you picked it up off of the ground. We're dialed in to food safety. And absolutely not. If anything's wrong, the leadership wants to be involved. Can there be frustrating times where it's like, okay, you order something spicy and you're mad that it's spicy? Yes, that is annoying. Stop doing that.
Right?
Like you wasting my groceries, man. It sucks to have those moments. But even in that frustration, this is the customer service industry. And I breathe and coming out of my pores and going on to all my leaders is the reality that we are in a servant leadership position, serve our staff. If they're having a hard time with the guests, we're going to step in and protect them. We are going to deal with that guest if they're being difficult. I don't let my team get black eyes. I don't let people drag them. We're not doormats. If I have to refuse your service because you're off the chain, you're going to leave.
Yeah.
We're going to try to cater to you and serve you the best we can. But if you're off the chain, you're not the person that we want in this building because we're going to go over and beyond to fix any issues, even if it's not our fault. We want you to leave
Yeah.
happy. Um, and we want to get it right for you. We genuinely want that. We care so much. So, absolutely not. Have I heard things like that in the world happening? Maybe it could be a joke or whatever. It's not a funny one. But absolutely not. We don't operate like that. Never. That would never even cross my mind. And I feel like I'm a strong enough leader to make everyone care just as much, to never let that be a thing. And I don't even let my team touch the food. The leaders and the managers know that they have to be involved in that process of any remakes or things like that. And we want to do that. We want to.
That's what's up.
Jahzmin French for president. I like it.
No.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey,
Oh.
before we go, just like what Rod been saying, you just been light flexing. And you probably caught this other flex too, Rod in DC. She said her soup is the bomb. Don't come for her.
Yes, it
But
is.
what soup is that?
Oh my gosh. I have chicken soup. I have pork soup. I have clear chicken soup. And then our vegetable soup takes a little less work, because we have less ingredients in it, but it's all pure, it's all great, high quality. But we cook soup collectively for about 20 hours a day, slow simmer. So it is no joke, no joke. And we have to babysit and skim, and it's so many steps to it. So people saying like, "Oh yeah, I could probably do that." Good luck. You cannot go and do JINYA overnight. It is so hard. It's so dialed in. But yeah, my soup is the bomb, and whether I make it or not, my team has been trained, and they do such a good job. I'm so grateful for them. And they pay attention to detail as well, and they make sure it comes out right each time.
Last question. I know we about to wrap up, but I just had a thought. Like we know you're a true owner operator. You live and breathe that place. It sounds like Jinya is like your second home. So you get off work, you come home, you're a single parent. Do you cook?
Why you ask me that? Not playing.
Only because it's like you're around. And the reason I ask is because you're around food all day long.
Yeah, I
So
would
it's like
imagine you
like
would not want to cook when you come home.
yeah. So like for me personally, I get an ass of emails in my work. So when I'm off, I don't check my personal email. I don't. My email probably is like 10,000. If you email me something, you're not gonna get a response because I get so many at work.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like you're around food all day. You're smelling the food. I'm sure it smells good, but still all day, every day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Like you get home, you tired. Are you
Yeah.
cutting that stove on?
Yeah, you know what? This has been a personal goal of mine lately. I told my mom, I said, I got to make room for a husband. Okay. I got
Hmm.
room to be in that space, be in that relationship, be available for my family. So lately, I have been coming home and cooking a little more, and I'm patting myself on the back because
Okay.
I'm really proud of that. But naturally, and if you would have asked me this about 3 weeks ago, the answer would be like, absolutely not. I'm not cooking.
Yeah, and
Um,
I get it.
yeah, about three
Hmm.
weeks ago, I dusted off my stove, and I have been cooking more, and I felt so good for doing it. I'm so proud of myself for setting boundaries because I'm a true workaholic. I will drown in my work, and I love it. But other areas of my life have suffered for it. And I've been, trusting God. I want that companionship. I want a partner. I want a husband, but I have to make space for that, right? So
Yeah.
that's one. So I have been cooking more, not every day, no, but yes, I've been doing a better job than I ever have in the last 4 years.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's right. Cool. Well, we definitely appreciate you joining us. What do you guys say? Is it arigato? Did I say that
Arigato
right?
gozaimasu.
Arigato. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's been fun. Typically, I like to leave with a quote for the people to live by. Today, we're going to go with life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to help you discover who you are. And that's by Bernice Johnson Reagan.
That's
Mm.
good.
Always love the quote. Jazz, thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate you.
welcome.
Appreciate you for just giving us this time, this platform. Appreciate you, being the first black woman to own this type of franchise for us to experience. That goes a long way. But yeah, man, Rob with the quote, man, he always introduce himself with 3 words. I always like to end the show with 3 words. Cue the music.